I'm going to share my screen and we're going to kind of talk about, that's not the PowerPoint I need though, math discussions and what those should look like in our daily part on Canvas. All right, so our goal today for our math lesson is to understand how to find a math discussion when you're on Canvas and then how you should participate in that discussion the correct way. So we're going to kind of just reiterate and go over some of those expectations we had for our reading Canvas discussion earlier. And we're also going to go through and talk about why we do it for math and what makes it important for math. So same as reading, I'm going to I'll show you how to do this again at the end, but the way you find the discussion on Canvas for math, same way you go to my.msdwt to log in, click on Canvas, click on your teacher, so mine's Hoffman's Heroes, click on that matching day of the week. Today's Monday, so you click Monday, and then click on math. And then you're going to click to respond to the discussion. And then you can go on and respond the same way. So I'm going to just go ahead and show you one more time how to do that instead of waiting all the way to the end. So if I was at home on my Canvas dashboard, I think we're all good on getting to Canvas by now. I'm going to go to where it says Hoffman's Heroes, just like before. I'm going to click on Monday, and then I'm going to click on math. Now I'm going to take a second because I noticed we had some people who were getting on this early, all right? Please, 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 everybody, I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint here. Please try to do it so you're not logging on early, okay? Please try to do it so you're logging on when we actually have math. Because when you get ahead, you're going to have to sit around and wait for other people to do their discussion and that kind of thing later anyway. So if you could just wait it out, I know it's tempting to get on and try to get everything done early, but if you finish with reading early, do something else that's reading. And it's going to be a little bit different once we get into our new units because we'll have small groups and other work to do. But right now, if you're getting ahead, just pump the brakes for a minute. That means slow down. All right, go back and do some extra work in reading and then log on to math when it's time for math. I know it's tempting to get ahead. I understand. But we want to make sure. Yeah. Nobody can see my screen? Darn it. All right. Try this again. Miss Weibel just told me that nobody can see my screen. Okay. There, now we can see it. So I'll do all that again later. Part of technology, right? So if you're done, you get done early, slow down, and be ready to do math when you do math. All right. So let's talk about why we have math discussions. The first one is to learn from your other classmates' ideas, right? We do not all know every strategy to everything that there is in math. So a lot of the times we can watch somebody else's strategy or we can read about somebody else's strategy, and it actually will help us with understanding how to solve a problem, or it'll teach us a better way to solve it. I cannot tell you how many times I was not the best math student growing up. I love to teach math now, but when I was a kid, I had trouble with it. So I would have to ask people how they did problems a lot, and they would talk me through it. And I learned some of my own strategies moving forward to help me out in math. Another thing it helps you do is clarifying your own ideas. So let's say you're sharing a strategy you had, and you may not 100% remember how it works out or 100% remember how to do it. But when you step by step go through and explain your own strategy or talk about your own way you solved a problem in math, it'll help you remember that strategy as well, and it'll help you share it with the classmates. Excuse me. I'm going to back up and drink some water away from my computer. Another thing it does is it gives you a wide range of different strategies you can do to solve different problems. It might be that CJ, Kayla, Jonathan, and Mary all solved a problem a different way. And now I see 4 different ways, and I say, oh, you know what? I was doing it this way before. And even though, even though I already knew how to get the answer doing this, I really like the way CJ did it better because it was faster. So now I'm going to start using CJ's strategy. So you can see several different ways to solve different math problems when you use a discussion. And the last thing is, it helps you develop your own math vocabulary and talk about and write about math. The more you practice sharing it, the more you're going to be able to understand how to use math words and math language to help clarify your thinking. You may go, instead of saying, I put the two numbers together and got an answer, say I added the two numbers and I got the sum for the addition problem, right? So the more we practice sharing our thoughts, the more it's going to help us with our own math strategies and our own math thinking. So our expectations during the math discussion, we're going to kind of go over and read some of the same ones. These are the same ones we had for reading, but we're going to read them again just so we're really clear about the way they go. Can anybody raise their hand who can read that first one that starts with use complete? Somebody, Michael, go for it. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Use complete sentences with capital letters and marks.
Yep, I'm going to tell y'all now. We notice a lot of people in the reading discussion that forgot to put a capital letter at the beginning of a sentence. So I know it's the very first day we've done this. It's hard to remember a lot of it, but please always make sure you're trying to use complete sentences, capital letters at the beginning, and then a period or a question mark, whether you're asking a question or saying a sentence at the end of the sentence, okay? So capital letters, complete sentences. Thank you, Michael. Ania, I saw your hand up. Could you read the second one?
Okay. Respectfully respond to your classmates. Your teacher sees all of the reply.
Thank you. Hey, awesome job the first time through with that today. Everybody did a really good job of being respectful, being positive, sharing good thoughts and good vibes about everybody else's answer, and made sure that they were participating in the discussion and replying the right way and respectfully. All right, I volunteer to read the third one. Cynthia, go ahead.
Respond to at least two in the discussion. Do more if you wish when you have extra time.
Thank you. I'm gonna read it one more time because I think somebody else signed on, just got on, and their mic was on, so it made some noise. But it said respond. Thank you for reading it, Cynthia. Respond to at least two classmates in the discussion. You may reply to more if you wish when you have extra time. So I'm going to challenge you guys a little bit here based on what we saw in reading, okay? Everyone responded to other people. Everybody was respectful and polite, and I appreciate that part. I want to challenge you to push your thinking and push a person's thinking a little bit more. So we had a lot of people who just replied by saying something like, great, or I like it. Okay, try to explain why you like it. Or if you say, I agree, explain why you agree. Or challenge that person to think a little bit more. Or ask them a question about their answer, okay? So I'm going to show you really quick what I'm talking about on those discussions. If I can get out of my PowerPoint, I'll show you, maybe. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. And then I'm going to open up my Canvas on my own here. And go to what we did in reading. Just to clarify this a little bit more. All right, so go back to Zoom, share screen again. Okay, so if you see, Asil had a great comment. She said, Miss Albert means that every little kind thing you do makes others realize that they should do kind things, and that every time someone does a kind thing, it spreads through the world. Now notice how my comment said, good thoughts, Asil. Can you think of a time that someone's kindness inspired you to do something kind too? So notice how I said I liked her thoughts, and then I asked her a question that could make us discuss things back and forth, right? So Eduardo said, I agree with you. So my challenge would be, next time through, Eduardo, what could you say that you agree about? Or how could you explain why you agree with her? Okay, same thing down here. So Cynthia said, I think when Ms. Albert said that kindness can make the world a little better, it also can make people do something nice to other people. And what I think ripple create in the world, it makes it a better place. Notice how Ms. Weibel said, good point, Cynthia. When someone shows kindness, it makes that person feel good and want to be kind to others as well. So she kind of reflected on Cynthia's thoughts. So my challenge to you moving forward is when you're replying to someone else, see if you can go a little bit further and a little bit deeper with your reply and ask and create further discussion. Okay, but overall, you guys did a great job replying to each other the right way. Okay, so in a minute, not yet, you're going to take some time and work on the discussion I posted on your own, respond to the original question, and then you're going to reply to at least 2 classmates. And then remember, okay, this is remember this. After math, everything else for today is online. So I'm going to show you what I mean here in a second. You are not going to have any more live lessons. So once we log off here today, once we log off this part, you are done with live lessons with me unless you get on for help later during my office hours from 1:50 to 2:50. All right? So when you finish the math discussion and you do some Dreambox, at 11:50 you have a lunch break and recess break till 12:50, and take that time and enjoy your little break. And then you're going to come back on and do writing and word work. All right? So I'm going to show you what I mean here. I'm going to get out of my PowerPoint again. I'm going to stop sharing just one more time. I'm going to minimize PowerPoint. Get on my Canvas page again. Just open Zoom back up and click on screen share. All right, let's see. I'm going to call on somebody who's been quiet. Alejandro, what do I need to click on from here to start my first steps to getting to math? You're still muted, bud. So unmute yourself and tell me, what do I need to click on from right here?
Hoffman's Heroes.
Hoffman's Heroes, thank you. Guadalupe, what do I need to click on next now that I'm on my Hoffman's Heroes page? Monday, thank you. Ooh, just got on. Sorry, we got background noise. I'm trying to figure out who's still not muted. There we go, it's gone. Okay, Denise, what do I need to click on next?
Math.
Very good, math. And then I've got my discussion. All right, and my discussion today is just, how do you feel about math? What do you like about math, and what do you dislike about math? And it's okay to be honest, you guys. If you don't enjoy math, now you don't need to spend the whole time saying, I hate math, math's the worst thing ever. But you can say, like, I don't like math because, or there's several sentence stems right here that I'm circling around right now that you can use to help you. I feel blank about math because. Math makes me feel blank because. Or the things I like about math are, and then tell us, and the things I dislike about math are, and then tell us. So you guys are going to have all of the math time, all right, all the time on math to sit on here and do that discussion. And then if you're done early, you can get on and do some Dreambox, all right? I think Denise already has 2 lessons of Dreambox done from sometime this week. So that's awesome. Lastly, before you get started, I'm going to go back to my homepage and remind you, after you take your lunch and recess and you move on to things this afternoon, you're going to click on writing, do the writing lesson. So the writing lesson comes up right there, all right? You're going to click on word work. Word work lesson comes up right there. And then you're going to click on science and social studies. And that work comes up right here, all right? So those are your 3 responsibilities this afternoon, even though you are not with me on a lesson, okay? If you need help, click on the I need help part during my office hours. Clay, I see your hand, so go ahead and you can ask a question. I'm going to stop my screen. Clay, you can ask a question if you've got a question, bud. You can hear me. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat box too. Clay, you can hang out in here a little bit. I'm going to let people start going in a second. Does anybody have questions? Michael, I see your hand up. Go for it.
How do you go on
Lexia?
What'd you say, Michael?
How do you go on Lexia?
So Lexia, okay, so that's a good question. So when you guys go to this page, when you get to this dashboard on my.msdwt, where you can click on Canvas. Sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. Let me share my screen again. My bad, my bad. When you're on this page, you're like where you can click on Canvas, you also have your links to Lexia and Dreambox on there. So when you go to my MSDWT, you can get on Lexia or Dreambox that way. All right. Let me unshare my screen now. Maybe. Okay, good question, Michael. Anybody else have a question? Going once. Going twice. Okay, so your job is math. Then when you log off, all the other subjects after lunch and recess. And then I would like you before you go to please type in the chat box what time my office hours are. What time my office hours are, where you can click on if you need help, because it's not all day, but there are office hours. So if you can click on type my office hours in the chat box, then I will let you go get started on the math discussion.